Balkanization. The word in prophecy being fulfilled. The word Balkanization. I'm gonna look this word up. All praise to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah by Shem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles of GMS and special citations to the Akim out there laboring in truth and sincerity. I watched the video, I want to say last week, of the apostles, and Apostle Tahar, the elder Apostle Tahar, mentioned the word balkanization, and I looked it up as he mentioned it, and it has everything to do with what's happening in the world. And this was just sent out by the priest Taiwan Mayim, in which it says the world has had it. Massive protests in many cities of Australia, England, France, Japan, Portugal, Spain, and more against, I'm not gonna say the word, passports and the mandatory and lockdowns. And here you go. These are massive protests that's happening. All right, this is in Australia. Look how much people deep it is. And
we are going to bring into the world a world full of beauty, a world full of love. And we are going to wake up.
But this is not going to happen through them. This is going to happen only through Yahweh Shah.
We are the future.
They just complaining of an ungodly father.
Amazing to see you all, people. I love
So you know what it's about. I don't have to keep playing it. There's a lot of videos. But let me look up the word balkanization. I'm gonna let this little one, this be an edifying short lesson. Balkanization is a pejorative term for fragmentation of a larger region or state into smaller regions or states which may be hostile or uncooperative with one another. Now, what are they uncooperative with? The government's plans of taking a jab. But there's also other things that happened before, such as the red flag gun laws, which Esau is taking away the sword from Esau, okay? Because the red flag law, also known as the extreme risk protection order law, is effective in New York State as of August 24, 2019. It says the law prevents individuals who show signs of being a threat to themselves or others from purchasing or possessing any kind of firearm. Now, this was going on big, I believe, in like Colorado, the states where most of these Edomites, right, have guns, right? And they were preventing them, okay, and who they deemed, and this was happening during like a lot of the mass shootings. So here is another one. Now, remember the Bundy brothers who was fighting over the ranch? They had a standoff. They were a militia group, okay? They tried to take over the Oregon Wildlife Refuge. You also has the Texas exit going on. 2 days ago. Oh yeah, Texas exit is imminent, expected to be official early next week. Big 12 executive meet with Texas, Oklahoma to discuss impeding exit to sect. The Big 12, okay? Meeting with Texas and Oklahoma to discuss the schools impeding exits from the impending exits from the conference. Let me see. This is I think this is talking about the Salakia. This might be the wrong. Let me see. Yeah, Salakia. This is not the I'm over here reading it like it's, but this is talking about this is what I wanted, right? A United States flag and then left in the Texas flag near the LBJ freeway in Dallas Monday. This was February 26, 2001. Wow, that's a hot minute ago. This article is it says published 4:44 p.m. December 31st, 2020. You had the Cali exit. You got the Brexit going on as well. Okay, these are just key terms to think about. I mean, that you'll hear about. All right, and as you see the protests, but this is stuff that has been going on for a little minute. Is that these things are being at the height of it. Anyway, this balkanization, right? Going back to it, it's prophecy. It's prophecy. What does balkanization mean? To break up into smaller and often hostile units, opposes the partition of Germany and holds the economic consequence of balkanization. Country would be serious, right? To break up a regional group. So Satan house being divided against Satan. But the prophecies that we see happening, 2nd Esdras 15 and 16, for there shall be sedition among men. That's an uprising against your government. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor their princes. In the course of their power and action shall stand in the course of their action shall stand in their power. So that's what's going on. And what are they doing? They're complaining about what? An ungodly father, because the ones who's ruling us is of their same nationality. All right? But they're not standing by them no more. All right? That's Sirach 41 and 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. All right? Yeah, they were being reproached. A lot of them was throwing the red paint all over Columbus statues, doing the BLM protests and stuff like that when the George Floyd happened. Because a lot of the kids now, the Edomite kids, the young so-called white kids, they don't like that they're got to get these words thrown at them when they're saying that they technically didn't do those actions of their forefathers, not knowing that they are their forefathers. But now they're complaining. They're against the way the society was set up. They don't believe in that. Oh man, this oppressive state. Some of them don't believe in the profiting the capitalist system, although they benefit from it. But this is the thing that's happening. They want to part away from it. All right, and this is where the balkanization is coming in. Okay, because they shall be. That's it. That's it. That's it. So, yeah, it's the houses is being divided, and that's what you see with this balkanization. So as you see the protests and different things, this whole current situation, and the current situation that's happening with the world, I got everybody wearing masks, right? People is against wearing that. So they no longer want that. And remember, these militia groups have been standing up. They might not hit the news a lot because they don't want to cause too much flares. But there's been a lot of militia groups that's been against this whole thing. Because they're like the true patriots. They don't feel like the government should control. All right? So there's been a large, let's go. Let's against. The New Yorker, the militias against masks. All right. FBI, Michigan anti-government group plotted to kidnap. Oh, yeah. Remember them? They kidnapped Governor Gretchen, where the 13 men was charged for accused of plotting to storm the state capitol. And remember, the state capitol thing actually happened as well. It's a lot of things, that's happening. This country is at the brink of a civil war. It's gonna overblow, but this is balkanization. But once again, all of y'all works y'all doing, right? It's fulfilling prophecy, but only Yahweh Shai, it can break down this government, right? And actually set it up to where people is going to be. And so while we out there prophesying, the reason why we're out there prophesying is because we're saying that the way because there should be a ruler. We're not saying that people should rule themselves because people can't rule themselves. There should be a ruler. It's just that the ruler that we're saying is actually going to have things in order. He's actually going to keep the order that he's spewing out. Not like this hypocritical government. They pass laws, then they break laws that they pass. They break laws that they pass. They can't keep them. Then they don't judge uprightly. Then they just legalize all types of mad laws. How are you going to legalize prostitution and people smoking weed and getting high all damn day, legalized pharmaceutical drugs, people getting high and taking pharmaceutical drugs, you know, it, it's just legalized same-sex marriage, legalized, it's just crazy. But anyway, not to get too far off, but this is what the whole balkanization is, okay? The militias against the mass. Groups protesting lockdowns, measures to see the blank blank, right, as pretext for tyranny and as an opportunity for spreading rage. Okay? This was last year, early in the morning of May 11th, the neon open sign in front of the window of, yeah, because remember there was the shop shut down. They was against that. They was opening up anyway. See, all of this whole thing was a big test to see what groups, and they seen what groups was powering up. They seen what was against it. There are sectors that are not. Because remember, the people make the country. You can't just say that. You can't just believe that everyone is in unity when it is the people that make the state. The state in of itself, yes, I'm New York State, and I'm together. No, it's the people. It's the people that's living in these areas. And most of the people, especially them with the Midwest, the Bible Belt in those areas, they're not with the flow of what they're pushing. Now, the inner and urban cities, yeah, because most of the people that's in the inner and urban cities, they always go with the flow of things. Because they never sustain themselves as somebody in the suburbs. They never grew their own cattle. They never, the people who live like that have more of a self-sufficiency, so to speak. People who's in the cities, they go with the, oh, okay, I guess I got to do this, or I guess I got to do that. They're not going to put up with a fight because they just used to having to get everything depending on the system. But those in the suburban areas, most of them, I'll say, especially the ones who go off the grid and live off the land, they have a self-sufficiency. They're not tapped in with this, so they don't necessarily care. So if they being forced, or to do certain things, they're gonna put up more. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna put up a resistance, okay, because they already don't need the system, so to speak, to a certain extent. All right, and that falls in the hands of most of these Edomites. All right. So you've seen it, there's different articles. There's a lot of information to pull up, different militia groups, especially in Virginia, all over the place. All right. During the protest, we got the Proud Boys. You got so many different ones out there. All right. But let me end it off with this. And I'll call it yeah. This house was falling apart. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So that's it. This place is actually being balkanized. And the more we see the balkanization, the more we see the protesters, the more that this house is falling apart. That's why it's decaying. Sinkholes, wildfires. All right, it's a representation of this house falling apart. It's what happens when people break up in the house. Well, this person ain't gonna do that side of the dishes. They only gonna clean their side. That person's not gonna clean this person's side. It's just gonna be problems. They're gonna build their own personal bathroom when their area doesn't even have a pipeline for them to build, but they're going to build I'm just coming up with a concept of you being in a household where you're not going to want to share bathrooms. So you're going to want to build your own bathroom in an area that's not meant to be built. It's going to cause a lot more chaos. Instead of sharing the things, everybody has to now create their own thing. Yeah, I have to have another fridge, but the house can only hold a certain amount of power. You got like 5 fridges. You got 3 people in the house. 3 different fridges, 3 different shower, 3 different TVs, 3 different stoves. Anyway, you get the point. You know, that video and that image is really showing that prophecy, is being fulfilled. Until the next time, I'll say shalom.